The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Bucklebomb Sports, our second episode here on our new night, new time, Monday nights, 7 Eastern. We've got an exciting show. I am your host, Sarah. To my right, we have Jada Hotland, and below us, Mr. DMC Grizzle. How are you guys this evening?
Solid. I'm actually excited to watch Raw tonight. I don't know.
Yes,
I haven't felt this way in a long time.
Yeah, I think it's a weird Monday because I'm actually on the same boat, man. I know we're not going to hit a lot of wrestling on this, but it's from all the reports that you're hearing, it might be actually one to tune into and not just catch the highlights.
It is the first Raw of the alleged Paul Levesque or Triple H era. And he's promised a very exciting show, so we will see what happens. First up, though, we'll give a quick rundown of tonight's show. We got some Deshaun Watson news, MLB trade rumors as the deadline hits tomorrow. Big return on the field tomorrow as well. We're gonna get a little NFL with some AFC East and NFC East preview. We'll bring in our first guest around that time as well, about 7:30 Eastern. He will pop on. But first, sad news out of the NBA world. Legend Bill Russell has passed away.
Super drag.
Yeah.
As a Laker fan, it's not a very common thing where I give love to a Celtic. But Bill Russell, game recognizes game. The man was greatness. We have everybody always doing the LeBron, Jordan comparisons, Kobe comparisons. I think Bill Russell's one of those players who oftentimes gets the short end of the stick of not really being recognized for how great he actually was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of sick of all this who's the greatest of all time speech when we don't have anything to talk about in sports. It gets really annoying. And all weekend, all I heard about was Michael Jordan stuff, and then every single person kept bringing up, why does no one mention Bill Russell? But when we're talking about, why is he always the last person? Why does it have to be MJ or LeBron? I mean, the ultimate teammate, man. And he went through a lot more shit just to get on the court than anyone in the modern era ever has. So, I mean, really circumstances, when you consider what he did and the time that he did it, he had the hardest road to go, and he was the most successful. And salute to Bill Russell.
I mean, definitely in there in the conversation of greatest of all time, automatically. So our caps off to Bill Russell's family and Boston sports in general.
I can't count his rings on two hands, y'all. I can't do it.
Yeah, he's some weird statistic, 21-0 when it comes to closeout games. So that the man was locked down.
Really? I didn't know that stat. That's a good stat.
Yeah.
Something we should head on for Impossible Sports Trivia. Alrighty. So we'll move on to a little baseball. Deadline's tomorrow, less than 24 hours to go. But one other big story, Jacob deGrom, two-time Cy Young winner, makes his 2022 debut tomorrow against the Washington Nationals after being away for more than a year. Made 3 rehab starts. 2 of them was lights out. And his last one here in Syracuse. Got hit up for 4 runs. Got knocked around a little bit in a couple innings of work. Do you guys think Jacob deGrom after his surgery is going to be top-notch as he was, or it's kind of a wash-away year for him?
I don't know, but I'm rooting for him. Any athlete that wants to come back from any kind of major surgery and still perform at the same level or even better, I can't predict the future. All I can do is root for you, bud.
Look at the history in baseball. Your pitchers, whenever they have any kind of surgery dealing with the arm, they don't necessarily come back stronger. We had a guy that they called Thor, Noah Syndergaard, threw like a beast. TJ got him. Velocity went down when he came back. Location went a little off with the loss of the velocity. He started to get hit more. Now I can't honestly tell you if he's productive. It's always a killer when you see Tommy John injuries. The recovery is never like I haven't seen anybody bounce back to what they were prior. You do have a lot of guys who are able to come back and be productive. Not a lot of them go straight to pasture, but the statistic is the other way on it, man. It really is. The majority of people do not come back the same, and they do not last very long after.
I mean, you mentioned Noah Syndergaard as another Met who had the same surgery. Let's go back even further to another Met who had the same surgery, who was once known as the Dark Knight, Matt Harvey. Yep. He was lights at 1.2, went out to Tommy John, and that was it. Never came back as good.
The bonus question or the mystery question we had last time, the person who threw the perfect game, then had surgery and never played again. It's the same thing. It's unfortunate, but that surgery, once the arm is gone, that's all you can do.
It seems to be kind of 50-50. You come back, you're a little bit stronger, or you come back and nowhere near as good. So We'll see how DeGrom does tomorrow. I mean, DeGrom's always struggled, unfortunately, with the Mets because DeGrom's one of those pitchers, he strikes out a lot. He's won 2 Cy Youngs, but doesn't get the wins because he doesn't get the run support. But we are in the era of the Cohen Mets when the Mets are putting up runs, and one could certainly say they are overachieving this year, as I believe somebody else put it.
They have a very miracle Mets feel about them this year.
Yes. Back to the 86 Amazons. So like I said, we're approaching the deadline. We got a couple trade rumors. Well, the big story, Juan Soto. There were a lot of suitors, a couple teams not presenting enough interesting pieces. So the rumor is it's down to 3 teams: St. Louis Cardinals, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the San Diego Padres. I mean,
get them, Cards. Come on. Go get them.
I mean, they've got a great farm system, so they could definitely pump out a lot of prospects for Washington. Dodgers always seem to get some of the big names past couple of years, and they're on top. So Soto would probably put them in contention for the World Series as well. Padres have been making moves past couple of years to get themselves up there. Daniel, we know how you feel about the Cardinals.
I will give you the entire Memphis Redbirds franchise. You can have it, the whole stadium. They have soccer games there also. 901 FC, what's up? Yeah, they have concerts there. Like I will. It's a sweet package deal. Just give them to me. You can have the whole thing. They make really great nachos too. Like the best nachos you've ever had. Like at
the official snack of Bucklebomb is the nachos whenever you go out somewhere. So I mean that's an A+ package deal. I'm
just saying, like, they ripped the bag open, they put the chili on it too. You can get that situation. There's a lot of good things happening at Redbird Stadium. Highly recommend it. Happy to give you a tour too. I don't have any keys though.
Jay, what do you think? Where's Juan Soto going?
So I'm looking at the recent transactions and some of the, more recent completed deals with the Padres just making a deal for another closer. I don't see them maybe having the package they need to get Soto. So to me, I know the Padres were still up there as one of the top 3. I think that recent deal kind of takes them out of it. The Dodgers, they always have this weird ability where the whole MLB overvalues their farm system. I can say that because I'm not a Dodgers fan. People overvalue that farm system. I can't, for the life of me, think of a big prospect to come out of the Dodgers farm system where I was like, oh, wow, yeah, that totally makes sense that people gave up a star player for 3 of these guys. No. Come on. Their farm is a little over-exaggerated, overzealous. But I think the Cardinals make sense. They do have the more, I guess you could say, more proven system to kind of get the better package out there. But I love chaos, and the trade deadline is always chaos. We're coming up on it, a day left. I wouldn't be surprised if out of nowhere there's a mystery team to come into this thing that gives up just the right package of now players and prospects to be able to get Soto from the Nationals. Of course, for me to think that would work, it would have to definitely be an AL team. I don't see it being the Yankees because the Yankees never have a real good farm, and they just made a big deal earlier. So I'm thinking we could see a mystery team a la the Texas Rangers, who were in the bidding earlier, kind of fell out. Also, be wary of teams like Boston. For some reason, they always pull trade deadline miracles. So, I'm here for the miracle. I want to see what happens.
I mean, speaking of Boston, they just traded today to get Johnny Pham about an hour and a half ago, so they're making moves. What about the odds of the Baltimore Orioles, who are the overachievers of the season? They're sitting around 500. Do they decide to try to make some moves, trade a couple pieces to get Soto? Whether or not they have enough is another story. But if they can land Soto, that could put them in contention.
Nobody wants to play in Camden. Nobody wants to play in Camden.
All right. So some other rumors, or some other trade rumors. Shohei Ohtani, apparently Angels now shutting down talks officially. They had listened to some talks. Nobody really giving anything, the whole world for him. I believe he's going to get traded in the offseason or early next year. His contract expires in 2023. And unless the Angels really believe he's going to resign next offseason, they got to try to trade and get something for him.
Okay. Shohei Ohtani. Follow me on this. As I stated, I'm a Texas Ranger fan. Texas Rangers made a big splash by bringing in an international pitcher a few years ago by the name of Yu Darvish. Darvish was the big thing coming out of Japan. This guy with his 8 different pitches, he brought in a whole set of eyes on the franchise, and that was the pushing point, the selling point of getting Darvish. Darvish was going to give us penetration into Japan so we could start to bring over those players from those leagues. That's the dream. In reality, Darvish gets here, he has 8 pitches, but he doesn't have a full 5 innings in him. Darvish always had that terrible demonstrative 1 inning that he would give up 2 to 3 runs, and at the time our run support couldn't take that. But they sold you on the dream that Darvish is the guy to get you into the East.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have that happening again with Shohei Ohtani, a player that people are calling the next Babe Ruth, a pitcher batter who has been blowing up the league. But the thing is, do you take him at face value for what he's worth on the field, or do you take him for what he could be with the international market? There's a lot of money that's going to come behind Shohei Ohtani, and all of it's not necessarily going to be on his playing. The difference is between him and Yu Darvish, and this is where I make the comparison. Darvish was the dream of being able to get into the East. Ohtani at least showed you for the last few seasons that he's actually able to back up not only his pitching but his batting. So if the Angels don't do something to keep him, your next big bidding war is going to be for Shohei Ohtani.
And those pocketbooks will come out for him because he's not just a once every 5 days kind of guy. They'll get him for every 5 days. He just needs that 1 day rest after pitching. Boom. DHing, playing the field, whichever.
He is an animal.
He might be the best player we've seen this generation. So we briefly touched on the Yankees picking up outfielder Andrew Benintendi from the Kansas City Royals. Also, back on Friday, Seattle Mariners acquired Luis Castillo from the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for 4 prospects. Red's pretty much just unloading the whole system. I guess going to give it a go from scratch. We got a couple other potential trade pieces here. Get your guys' thoughts on what's coming up here. Outfielder Trey Mancini of the Orioles. Do you think he gets traded, going anywhere?
I wouldn't touch any Orioles players.
Fair. Once highly regarded all-star, kind of fallen off this year. Starting pitcher Noah Syndergaard from the Los Angeles Angels.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about baseball. I didn't know we were going to have so many baseball questions today. I don't have any answers prepared for you about baseball.
We're getting it all out of the way early. We're getting baseball out of the way early.
I just,
just hold on.
I'm just going to nod. And,
look pretty. Give him the blues.
I mean, Jay sounds like he's right. I'm not going to argue with him.
All right, Daniel, for you, we'll play rate the player's name. Noah Syndergaard.
It's a great name. I mean, what a fantastic! If I was going to have a professional franchise of any sort, especially entertainment or sports otherwise, I would want someone with that name on my team.
His nickname is Thor.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Love everything about it. He's a very, very marketable person.
Yeah, I don't think the arm's there.
At least not this year. We have starting pitcher from the Astros, Jose Urquidy. Jay, is he getting traded? That's your area.
I've seen a lot of Stros games. They're down there in the armpit of Texas, as we like to call it, Houston. I don't. He's a very serviceable pitcher. He's a good one right now. Well, not one, but he's a good maybe 2 or 3. On a serviceable team, he might be a good 4. On a decent team, he might be a 2, 3. Okay. Houston needs pieces. Houston has been kind of crap since they let go of everybody. Springer, whatever that Abreu, what's his name? The old first baseman, the little Hispanic dude. Anyway, that guy. The guys since they lost the guys that banged on trash can tops, they haven't been great. So, yeah, they need pieces. They're in blow up mode. They'll probably deal them.
Okay. So that'll wrap up our talk for trade rumors. We'll see what comes down on the deadline tomorrow. Big news out of the NFL today. The one big major headline: Deshaun Watson getting suspended for 6 games. No fines, just suspended for 6 games, despite the fact that the Texas courts have not filed any charges. NFL's theory, or the big theory going is, you made the Shield look bad, you're going to pay. I mean, how do you guys feel about 6 games, Grizzle?
I mean, how do you put this person on the field? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hype that? Are you gonna make that commercial for your town? Tell kids to come watch this person in person. This person in person. You know all this stuff, and I have all this unresolved legal stuff going on. Like, no. I just don't understand it. And of course, at the same time, I 100% understand it. It's all about money. It's all about wins. It's all about boys will be boys, and this is football, and it's bullshit, and I don't like it.
Ezekiel Elliott pulls out a lady's titty on Greenville Avenue during a parade where they were drinking. He gets 6 games. And he physically pulled out, happened 6 games. Calvin Ridley is not playing football at the time. He's out on issues. Places a bet on his team to win a game that he cannot control because he's not playing in this game and gets suspended a year. Deshaun Watson merely touches 30 women inappropriately and gets 6 games. I don't know. It's 5 game, 1 game per every 5, I guess. It makes no sense. You're telling me that even if the NFL wants to say there's no legitimate proof, the courts haven't done anything yet, but they rushed their decision to 6 games. Yes, they can come back and give them more, but the whole thing is, it's a bad look. Not only this is not 1, this is not 2. I can see maybe 1 or 2 people. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe they're not telling the full truth on him. He's a superstar or whatever. This is 30 people. 30. Saying that they were inappropriately touched by Deshaun Watson. And this is 30 people in Houston. This is even worse because people in Houston would have been talking about it if it was them. Trust me, they love to gossip. So just 30 means you only got the 30 people who were willing to say something and come after him. There's probably hundreds of more that were just like, oh, it was Deshaun. Oh, it's the Texans quarterback. Get out of here, you guys. Come on. 6 games is stupid. He shouldn't be playing this season. He probably shouldn't be playing next season.
At least not some legal troubles are cleared up.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. Well, they'll let him off on work release. He'll have Sundays off. He'll be able to leave if they give him anything serious, and he'll play on Sundays. You saw the longest yard. Same thing.
All right. So as we approach football season, week 1, starting first week in September, training camps now open. We're gonna preview, 2 divisions each week through the month of August. We're gonna bring in our first guest panelist to help us with the AFC East and NFC East. Our own Philly fanatic, Gary Joe. How are you doing?
Quite well. Roasting like a friggin' stuffed pig. It's hot as hell.
You don't usually hear hot with Minnesota.
Well, let's just say 88 degrees, humidity. Tomorrow, 95. When it's night, about 10 o'clock, when it's like 86 degrees, feels like I'm living in Florida. So, sucks.
All right. So let's talk some NFL. Let's start with at least 3 of the 4 of us here, the best division in football, the NFC East. Jay, Cowboys fan, me and Philly fanatic here, both Eagles fans. Rizzle, your division will come up next week. So you'll have to bear with us for this week. So
I'm gonna go get my hat while y'all are doing this. I'll be back.
So we got NFC East. We have Cowboys. We got Eagles. We got the Washington Commanders, and we have the New York Giants. Initial thoughts, biases aside, is it the Cowboys or is it the Eagles this year? Because I think we can all agree. I think the Commanders probably have a little more work to do before they can be in contention for the division.
I'm actually going to kind of disagree with that. I think Washington is actually going to surprise some people. I really do. I feel like they're underrated. If Carson Wentz can stay healthy, I think, he can try to do something productive for the Birds. Damn it, Grizzle, why did you have to put on the Packers hat?
If I'm going to be silent, I'm going to represent in silence.
I mean,
taking a stand.
All I'm going to say is Aaron Rodgers should not pull Nicolas Cage going to training camp. Just saying. I'm sure everybody's already seen that.
The only thing I like about Aaron Rodgers, the only thing, is he looked like Nick Cage for Con Air.
It was awesome.
I think Dallas is going to still stay afloat. Hopefully, McCarthy can, still stand strong being a coach there. The dude is so awesome. I like McCarthy. So, Birds, yeah, I will try not to sound biased here, but man, this team is loaded. A.J. Brown teaming up with it's just out of this world, man. Like Jordan Davis that we picked up in the draft, Nakobe Dean from the draft. These are kids from that dominant Georgia defense. We just picked up Zach Pascal as well from Indianapolis. He did really, really well. I'm very excited for the connection with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Like this is a dream duo for me as an Eagles fan. I think it's really going to come down to the Birds and Dallas again. I mean, it seems like that's been the trend for the last several years anyway. Giants, they're not going to do nothing with Danny Dimes. He's done after this year. I can promise you. I mean, he's dying. He's Daniel Penny for me now. He's not Daniel Dimes, but yeah, that's my take on the NFC East. It's going to be a really fun division to watch this year.
All right. Picking up the bottom of the East is going to be the New York Football Giants. There's no way they put anything together that resembles a winning season this year. Just for like Gary said, I don't think they have a quarterback to do it. Saquon has proven that if you try to load him too much, he goes down, and then your football team's kind of hurting. I would stay away from any Giants when it comes to fantasy, Saquon included. Next is a hard one for me because I also do see the Commanders actually doing something this season. I don't know why. I have this really sneaky feeling that Washington is going to be good this season, and not just good, but possibly in contention for the division. So that sucks because that puts me here at third. When it comes to the third in division, it's going to have to be the Dallas Cowboys. We lost too much on offense. We lost, we didn't keep the right players that we needed to. We got rid of Gregory, unfortunately, who took a better deal, which seemed like it was the exact same deal that we were going to give him, but he took it for a different team. That's fine. Do what you do. Amari Cooper, it was time to let him go, even though the stats don't really prove it. The eye test proves it. When it came to big-time moments, Amari Cooper disappeared off the field. So,
sorry, Joe Vaughn. I did not know Dallas got rid of Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper is gone.
I did not know that. Where did he go?
That's a good one. I don't remember where he left to.
I'll look it up. Okay.
All right,
cool. Come on, I'll look it up.
I'll keep going. So Amari Cooper's gone. That leaves CeeDee Lamb as our number one.
Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns got Cooper.
Good luck with that.
That's what I said. Michael Gallup, of course, is hurt still. He's like maybe a early to mid-season return for us. There's no clear defined number 3 wideout for the team, unfortunately. We did have another wideout that we picked up who got hurt in training, so we still need wideouts. We have no one to throw to, which is the key reason why I'm not giving us a lot of hope this season. Other than that, Ezekiel Elliott looks like he's in great shape right now. He's looked real good at training camp. Dak Prescott is in really good shape right now. He's throwing dimes. But it's hard to win if you don't have anybody to throw to, and our defense – I'm going to need someone to step up this year, kind of like Micah Parsons did, and be that guy. Trayvon Diggs, I need him to stop playing feast or famine back there because one day, a bunch of interceptions ain't going to help us because you're giving up that much in touchdowns. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of faith for the Cowboys this season. I'm giving us third. Give me Washington at 2. Just because I have this sneaky suspicion they'll be good. That puts Philadelphia at the 1 spot in our division just because they won the draft. You don't necessarily win the division during the draft, but Philadelphia had one of those drafts where when you're watching it, if you're a fan of the division, you say, holy crap, I have to see these fucking guys 2 times a year. And that's exactly what happened. Philly got loaded to the point to where on draft day, I was pissed because we did nothing. And Philadelphia pretty much put themselves, unless they shoot themselves in the foot, to take over the division. So we'll see how the season goes, but that's how I'm going with it. I'm going Philly 1, Washington 2, Dallas 3, and Giants 4.
One more thing that I would like to say, and Sarah, I'm sure you're going to agree with this one. It's got to be a sad season after this year, though. I think this is Kelsey's and Fletcher Cox's last year with us. But you know what? If Fletch goes somewhere else, I respect the hell out of him for him taking a big pay cut for this last year. And we got Jordan Davis from Georgia, 6'6", 340 pounds. That kid's a monster.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this.
Yeah, he's definitely a trooper for taking the pay cut. I think he sees the potential in this team. I think he might retire this year, although instead of going somewhere else to play. I think he's had his spell, and if Eagles do something special this year, he might retire.
One more thing, just before I let Sarah finish on the division. Hey, Grizzle down there. It was a catch, baby, and you know it. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, what the fuck? Dude, that was really aggressive. I wasn't prepared for that kind of aggression right now, and we're not trying to bring those memories into this season. We're trying to move forward with our new haircut and our new girlfriend and our new shirt and jean combination that looks like Nicolas Cage, and that's what we're trying to do, okay? We're not talking about that right now. That's one. That's one.
The Lions has your number, Grizzle. You'll see.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Cool.
You never know, man. Watch out for Hutchinson. I'm just saying.
And no matter what happens, your beard looks really nice.
I love you too, Grizzle.
Yep. True.
All right, so my predictions for the NFC East, I believe Giants will stay right down there in the basement again. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll improve a game and go up to be a 5-win team. Third place, I believe, is the Commanders. I believe they will improve by a game. I think they will move up to an 8-9 season. Nick Foles is good. He has a reputation for getting injured and not completing a whole season, but he can. He has the ability. I think maybe misses one game the most. I'm sure, football happens and it's a longer season now.
Nick Foles went to Washington.
Nick Foles did go to Washington, yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to jinx.
I'm sorry, not Nick Foles. Carson Wentz.
I was going to say, how
Carson
ironic we get Wentz and Foles back together again.
Yep, Carson Wentz. My apologies.
It's okay, Sarah.
I believe the Cowboys will be better than what Jay feels. I believe the division will come down to Week 16 when the Eagles play the Cowboys. I believe both teams will be around a 9-10 win team. The biggest question, I believe, for both teams is the quarterback. Dak Prescott, can he perform up to what people expect of him? And Jalen Hurts, can he prove himself only being a second-year starter? Can he show that he can do something with all the pieces around him? Or do the Eagles need to look for another quarterback next year?
I think the Birds are just going to be just fine, honestly. I mean, look what we had towards the end of the season. We went on a hot streak of 6 games in a row to make it to the playoffs. I mean...
And win the division.
And, yeah, there you go. And, like I said, those 2 connections, man. Devontae and A.J. Brown. Take my money.
Crystal, any predictions for who's going to win the NFC East?
I'm not going to say the Eagles because I mean, yeah, they're loaded, but guess what happens every year? They load up and they fail.
It's just on paper.
Something tells me, like, I'm just like Jovan. Like, keep an eye on Washington, seriously. Like, when you just, I don't know, just that team sounds really good on paper to me.
I'm going Philly. I don't like the rest of y'all's teams in this division.
Alrighty. We'll leave off with this question. Who's got more pressure on them? Is it going to be Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, or Jalen Hurts? Which quarterback has the most pressure on them?
Prescott.
Wentz. Dak's in Dallas. Dallas has proven that they will let their quarterbacks die on the field. Wentz is already on what? This is his 3rd team?
Correct.
Yeah. This kind of gets to where you start becoming a little bit of a QB bust. If you don't make it with your 3rd team, they start looking at you like a perennial backup, which could have been a label put on him when his backup took them to the Super Bowl. But, yeah, I don't see it being Dak.
I don't either, man. I mean, I'm surprised they did not sign him to a deal, like a longer deal, you know? The damn kid deserves something.
Anyone that's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is automatically under more scrutiny than any other quarterback in the entire league. So if you're that's automatic pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joven, I feel the Dallas Cowboys are more cursed with Jerry Jones than the Madden cover. Just saying.
It's okay. He's got to be out of there soon. We're pushing at it.
I feel like that's what's holding you back, man. I mean, I listened to this thing called the WFAN radio here in Minnesota, and they were talking about Jerry Jones like 2 weeks ago. And they were just trying to figure out what can Dallas do a little bit different, because they were just talking about the NFC. And I obviously was agreeing with them. Jerry Jones is just holding the team back. Jerry Jones feels like a distraction. Is pretty much where I'm going with that.
For what he is as a distraction, Jerry has took the star, the Dallas Cowboy emblem, the logo, and made it worldwide. Yes, we are the number one highest paid sports franchise in the world right now. We are number one, not the Yankees.
He's Vince McMahon.
The Cowboys. He is Vince McMahon. That hurts. And even with the NDAs, because he just had a kid come out, like a 25-year-old, saying that he was her daddy. So, it works. Yeah, it's we need a new. He needs to go.
I bet they're friends. I bet that's one of the 5 people in the world that Vince texts is like, "Hey buddy, hey Jerry Jones, what's going on, pal?
Hey Jerry, when's the last time you had a good NDA?"
All right.
They're all the worst.
All right, let's move on to the AFC East. Dolphins, Bills, Patriots, and the Jets. Anybody got thoughts? To me, it feels like it's the Bills' division to lose this year. They're stacked, they're loaded.
It's going to be the
It feels
Bills.
like Super Bowl or bust for them this year.
I was about to say Buffalo, hands down. I was mentioning this on Forever Boston Sports, which you guys can check out. Ran by Justin and myself. 100% agree. Bills, to me, if they could beat the Rams week 1 in that primetime game, no brainer. I feel this is it. Buffalo finally goes.
Week 1 is stacked with games of importance.
Finally, dude.
I'm loving it.
Me too.
It might be worth getting this NFL Plus thing that they keep on talking about, maybe doing, if their games are as good as Week 1 is, or at least should be.
Yeah. Let's.
Did you get Red Zone channel with that?
Do you get what?
Would you get the Red Zone channel with that?
I hope so.
I mean, you should, right?
Yeah, it should be 1-1.
Yeah, so let's run down the list of Week 1 games, okay? We have, on Thursday, the opening night for NFL, the Bills and the Rams. That's going to be a great match. Sunday, we have the Saints and the Falcons. They're always a battle. We have the Browns against the Panthers, the battle of Baker Mayfield's new team versus old team.
Mayfield's going to kill him.
He's going to kill them.
We have San Francisco versus Chicago. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Philadelphia at Detroit. Indianapolis at the Texans. Patriots at the Dolphins. Baltimore at the Jets. Jaguars at the Commanders. Giants at Titans. Chiefs at the Cardinals. Raiders at the Chargers. Packers at the Vikings. Another big interdivision rival.
Wow.
And then we have the Bucks and the Cowboys to round up Week 1 on Sunday night. And the first Monday night game, September 12th, Denver and Seattle.
Oh, that's going to be so good.
There's a lot of good games.
Oh, man. Stupid lighting. That Week 1's going to be great for sure. Like I said, I'm very excited for the Bills game. Outside of that game, though, I'm very curious to see how Matt Ryan will do with the Colts. Very happy for him. Very happy with the decision. Hopefully, they will show a really good light for Colts fans. And then since we're on the topic of the AFC East, New England, call me crazy. They're not going to the playoffs. No way.
Not at all.
Mac Jones is a good quarterback, but they lost so many good people. And you know what? I am the most hater for New England more than Dallas. So this makes me happy. So,
I mean, let's just take a minute to think about what we're saying here. New England is not in the
Anti-Pat.
playoffs. I mean, that we all grew up pretty much in the New England Patriots dynasty. To think about that is just crazy.
Finally, new guard has changed. I mean, Tom Brady left, and you get to see that, hey, you can't necessarily just have a bunch of scrubs on the field when you don't have the best player in the game throwing the ball.
exactly.
I mean, I don't know any other team that I'm happier to see eat shit except maybe the San Antonio Spurs, just because I had to endure. Jay, you don't understand. As a Grizzlies fan, you know how many times like I went Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, like for years, man. You just
The
like
triangle, man. The
the
triangle.
level. I mean, enormous respect for the franchise. They're very well run, and they've always had good draft picks and all that good stuff. And like, I don't wish anyone ill will, but eat shit, San Antonio.
All right, so are we all in agreement here that Buffalo's taking the AFC East?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch out for the Jets, but Buffalo's got it.
All right, Jay, why don't we move on to MMA combat sports news? What do you got for us?
MMA news over the weekend in the beautiful state of Texas, in the lovely town that I call home in Dallas, Texas, more specifically. UFC 277 kicked off this past weekend, and women's MMA history was made.
It was
when
awesome.
the one and only Juliana Pena went up against the greatest MMA fighter of all time, Amanda Nunes. And Nunes was going back for the belt that she lost to Pena in a very shocking defeat. Nunes got her belt back in a very thorough and very convincing 5-round ass whooping. Watching that fight, it felt like she could have probably taken Pena out at any time that she wanted to, but she literally stayed in there and whooped that ass to make a point. It was a hell of a fight. Amanda Nunes back on top, bantamweight and flyweight champion of the UFC, 2 belts. The lady is incredible. She is the best of all time. She did beat Ronda Rousey, so she's got that honor too. She beat Chris Cyborg, who is probably regarded as one of the most feared women in all of MMA because she has hands. Nunes is the real deal, and she showed why Saturday. Also, we have a new UFC interim flyweight champion in the men's division. When I forget what his first name is, it's Moreno. Moreno went against the up-and-comer, well, not really an up-and-comer, but the new breakout to the top of the division, France, and it was a good fight between them. Moreno got in there and they put in work. They put in 4 rounds of solid work. But Moreno caught this punch on him that just looked impeccably timed. And when you're in the fight and that great just timed punch hits, that's it. That's all she wrote. And once that match ended, of course, the actual flyweight champion, Figueira, came out. Moreno and Figueira are now going to fight for the unified title. This is going to be the 4th fight between them. I believe the series is 2-1 Figueira, but the last one I think Moreno actually won. It was Brandon Moreno. The last matchup I thought Brandon actually won, but the decision went to Figueira. So we'll see what happens during the 4th fight. A lot of good stuff coming up. I think the next big UFC pay-per-view is going to be Kamaru Usman going against Eve Edwards again. This is their 2nd fight, but completely different fighter in Edwards. Edwards has stepped it up. I think it might be Leon Edwards, but he stepped it up in the training. He's looked good lately with a couple of big wins. But he's going against Kamaru Usman, who right now is one of the top-tier fighters and one of the best champions they've got, not named Israel Adesanya. So a lot of good MMA coming up. Keep your eyes open, ears open. We'll tell you about it when it happens.
Fantastic. Any big events coming up this weekend that you think of off the top of your head for UFC, MMA? Any big fights?
Nothing big this weekend coming up that I could think of.
Okay. So weekend of rest in the MMA world.
Yes.
All right. So we'll get to wrap up here. We'll close out with the impossible sports trivia question for this week. Who was the first male athlete to win Sports Illustrated's Sportsman of the Year twice?
Repeat
Bonus
that,
points. Bonus points if you can name 2 years.
Could you repeat that though?
Yes. Who was the first male athlete to win Sports Illustrated's Sportsman of the Year twice?
Go ahead, Grizzly.
Dikembe Mutombo.
No.
That is incorrect.
Something tells me it will be a basketball star, though.
It's not going to be a football player.
No. Unless it's Tom Brady, then fuck him.
Or Jordan.
It was not Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Damn. Wow.
So I'm going a little different thinking. I'm thinking it's a baseball player.
Or a hockey player. Could be Wayne Gretzky.
Nobody
Ooh.
likes Wayne Gretzky.
Not Wayne Gretzky.
Damn.
Ooh. Was it hockey?
It was not hockey.
Okay, good. I was about to say, I'm going to go with Derek Jeter.
Incorrect.
Number 2.
Wasn't the captain. Give us a sport.
Should we do this like 20 questions?
So we get it.
I will give you a big hint. It is not one of the 3 major sports.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Is it Pele?
It was not Pele.
You went straight to soccer.
Is it Diego Maradona?
It was
Messi.
not.
Is it a soccer player?
It is not a soccer player or a football
Yeah.
player.
Fucking hooligans. Okay. Is it a golfer?
Oh, no, I got it.
Yes, it is.
It
Tiger
is a
Woods.
golf. That's not sport. Okay, sportsman. So you don't have to pick. That was very
Yeah.
deceptive.
Was it Tiger Woods?
It was Tiger Woods.
It was Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Garrett got it. I was
Hell's
about to
when
say
it says
Andre
golf.
Agassi.
It was. He won it in 1996 and again in 2000.
That's crap.
Yeah, it's crap.
If we didn't have the hint, I would have never guessed Tiger Woods. Honestly.
I think
Yeah.
we asked fewer than 20 questions, though.
I'll tell you this right now. Tiger Woods would have been good, but he didn't play for the Bears.
Bears. That was
All right.
well good, gentlemen.
Well, that'll wrap it up for us here today. Everyone have a good night. We will see you next Monday night.
Ditka.